Greetings, Banff Warriors. Greetings. Greg is here. Let's see what we could cook up tonight. We're going to see what we could cook up tonight. Doing a little live stream. I'm on day 5 of my 8-day breath work healers course here in northern New Mexico. I'm sitting inside the Airstream. Kind of finding it hard to put together words right now because the experiences that I've had the last few days have been like rockets, man. Rockets. I've guided a lot of breath work, but it wasn't until I came across this particular breath work right around Christmas that I locked in, and I've basically went 90 days of doing this breath work with some guided recordings. And then I felt like I'd found my guy to help teach me. Hello, Ashley. Welcome. Yet I never thought just breathing could be so transformational. And I've been on this healing journey for 13 years. 13 years of saying yes to sobriety, which means saying a lot of no's to other things that I used to love doing. I used to love doing a lot of things. What's up, Keith? I need to follow up with you, bro. I might have some availability on Saturday or Sunday. Saturday evening or Sunday. I've been thinking about you. I'm loving this work, this breathwork healers workshop that I've been in, man. It's changing me. It's changing me. I'm 13 years into a healing process. Good evening, everybody. And yet, today we did like a group breathwork where there's like 40 of us. The one teacher, David Elliott, and 40 of us all laying down on blankets, breathing. That's all you're doing. For about 40 minutes. And man, it's just, there's been very few things that I've experienced to that level of bliss, peace, spirituality, connection to the divine. And yet there's all kinds of things being processed too in terms of healing. It's the healing stuff. So like, people that are like myself, in full transparency, I've been in this 8-day workshop. For those of you that want to stay tuned tonight. Yeah, I'm not interested in that, bro. I appreciate you though. Nah, man, there's plenty of channels for that. We're going to talk about life here. We don't need to worry about the entertainment. Which, talking about life is entertaining. I could be a bit of a character. I make people laugh a lot in this workshop because I like having fun. And doing life is fun. Doing life is fun. You know what's really fun is when you connect with your inner child, right? Which a lot of us don't even realize still exist. Like, do you realize that you still have an inner child in there? That you actually, if you're anything like me, I was 12 years old when I kind of came to age, and it was like, enough of the kid shit, right? It was time to grow up. And I sort of wrote a story of abandonment to myself. And I started getting a lot more trouble from 12 on to about 17. And yet, when I rediscovered this thing called reparenting, right? That you have an inner child inside of you, that even though, what's up with your little brother? Algorithm. I like that name. That's cool. That the reparenting, right? It's reconnecting with your inner child. And most people don't have a clue of what that even means. Because you think that you're grown up. So you're like, fuck that. I don't give a fuck about my little kid self. That kid didn't know shit, or maybe that kid got wounded a lot. So you're like, I don't want nothing to do with that little guy or little girl. And yet that's the healing. That the healing work is by you stepping up as an adult and realizing that even if you don't have your own children, like you haven't had kids outside of yourself, that you have an absolute responsibility to reparent yourself, to be the most incredible dad or mom that you could possibly be. Good evening, Alexandria Shipley. And that's kind of a new concept, I think, for a lot of people, is understanding that we all have a responsibility. Our first responsibility is that self-love. You're absolutely right. But the self-love really needs to be fostering a relationship with your inner child. Like, to really acknowledge like your inner child. And I always say, right, there's three versions of me. You got Gregory, that's the little inner child. You got G Dog, that's the adult, and you got Greg, that's the super dad. That's the man that I created. That's the man that you are seeing and hearing right now, super dad. And every single one of you has this same power inside of you. And I can tell you that if you were to tap into this power. Yeah, my name's Gregory, G Dog. It's definitely not results kill excuses. I also go by badass motherfucker. Certified, actually. But it was in 2021. I'm glad you laughed at that. It's funny, right? In 2021, I went through a really bad heartbreak. Anybody been there? Anybody ever had their heart broken? I'm sure we all have. And I remember my therapist at the time, she was like, you know what? Because I was really filled with a lot of guilt, shame, anger. Did you take them, Keith? Come on, man. You're in the heartbreak now. Well, that's ground. I'm not going to tell you that's a great place to be. It's it's not great. It hurts, right? It hurts. We've all been there. That's the interesting thing, that we've all been there. We've all been through the hurt. We've all felt these pains. And it's actually the emotions is what connects us all. It's what connects you and me and every single person on this planet. We're limited by the emotions. So it doesn't matter what your status is, what your race is, what your religion is, what your height is, what your weight is, your gender, whatever the hell you want to identify with. None of that matters in terms of the fact that what connects us for real is our emotions. And the thing is, I can almost guarantee you, most of you, not all, there's a rare few, but most people listening right now, there's a inner child. The kid version of you is still inside of you, but that kid, in terms of your recognition of that kid's existence, most of you have totally ignored that child. You have lost your identity with the child. Here's the crazy thing about that. Even though you've lost your identity, where you don't see yourself as a little kid anymore, and I think that's where most people get messed up psychologically trying to process this. Stick with me if you're tracking. Thank you, Tommy. If you're tracking this, stick with me, because this is kind of the psychology that most of us are faced with. You grow up, so you look in a mirror and you know you're an adult. Like, you don't see a little kid no more. But here's the sad thing. If your inner child during your childhood years, if you experienced a lot of abuse, a lot of neglect, if you witnessed, and you don't even have, even if you witnessed it, if you just witnessed it between your parents or your caregivers or whoever that adult presence was in your life, then here's the thing, that little child is still carrying around those emotions, that little child version of you. So, what I'm trying to express is the fact that even though you have grown in size, you have not grown in emotions. Emotionally, and I saw this in myself in the relationship that ended in 2021. I can remember feeling rejected, unloved, unappreciated, and literally throwing a tantrum like a little boy. Wah! But getting like mad, right? Getting mad. I remember one time my girlfriend at the time had bought food and I was helping her do something that was to benefit her life far more than mine. And I felt so unappreciated. I felt so unloved. And she was being like such a nag. I was like going out of my way to help her, like really help her out to build her business actually. And I felt so unappreciated that she had just came back with food, which that was an act of appreciation, which again, it was what I was feeling. And what I'm feeling and how she was trying to communicate could be two different things. This is the point. When you're emotionally wounded, you have a hard time being empathetic, understanding where someone else is really coming from. You're perceiving most things that happen in your life through your trauma, through your emotional wounds. And so I totally remember her bringing this food. It was like literally my favorite dish at this, like, I think it was like a Thai restaurant. It was like my favorite dish. She went and got us food. And I remember feeling so unloved because she was like complaining about something. And I literally threw a tantrum. I grabbed the food and I fucking threw it on the ground like a little kid and I stormed off. And I just remember that still to this day. And I know where that was coming from. The little wounded child inside of me was feeling unloved, unappreciated, right? And yet, the beautiful thing is that I can tell you that story, and it was bad. Like it made a huge mess. I did help clean. I left her there to clean it up, but I did help clean up other parts of it later on. But it didn't make it right, and that is a big part of who I am now as a man that I've healed. Like, because I have enough self-love, I have been able to reparent myself. And the sad thing is I had to lose that relationship that I really, really, really wanted to work. I wanted it to be the one. I wanted her to be the one. I wanted us to be together forever. And we tried. We tried like hell. And they say, if you're going through a breakup, I think it was you, Alexandria, that might be going through something, that, we attract the people we attract in our lives to bring the stuff that we need to work on, that we need to heal. We attract these people into our lives because it brings up the things that we need to deal with. And that's what makes so many relationships painful when you're still wounded. So that was the wounded version of me in 2021. Right? And you're talking the end of 2021, so it might as well have been 2022. Which tells you in 3 years, I've put in a tremendous amount of emotional heavy lifting. And if you watch any of my videos, I talk about that a lot. Emotional heavy lifting. And the emotional heavy lifting that I've been doing is learning how to process my emotions, be more self-aware. And as I've done that, guess what? The little boy inside of me, he's still there. I still love him so much, but he doesn't have to throw a tantrum. Right? You can have a private chat with me. Send me a message anytime, Aaron. Send me a message. And if any of you want to connect, Greg, Greg, at resultskillexcuses.com. But the beautiful thing is that my inner child is loved now more than ever before. Hear that when I say that. My inner child, little Gregory, 3 years in the future, that little boy is loved more now than ever before, because I have become the man that he always needed, that he always wished he had in his life. And that's what most people, you just haven't figured that out yet. And it's someone like me having been given the gift of going through everything I've gone through, and to be able to put this message out there, which is specifically meant to help shine the light on what's really going on inside of you, this woundedness. And I saw it. Even another story would be a few years ago. A few years ago, I had to do. I love you too, bro. I appreciate all your support, my brother. Thank you for being here tonight. I send you lots of love. I send all you guys lots of love, man. Love, joy, peace. And another time that I saw there was two other times I can tell you that I remember seeing tantrums inside of adults. One had to do with my mom, and the other had to do with my ex-wife of 21 years. The one with my wife of 21 years, we were on this vacation. I think it was around Memorial Day. And we were up in Colorado, and we were at this lake and fishing, and man, I had gone out of my way. I hope you're doing well too. I am, Larry. Thank you. And it was like the perfect day, man. Like, you guys can only imagine this alpine lake with these Colorado beautiful peaks all around, man. And I had my boat, and I took my family out, me, my now ex-wife, and our two kids. And we went out on the lake and we were fishing. But not only were we fishing, I cooked everybody breakfast burritos and sausage and eggs. And it was like just the most beautiful morning ever, man. Like, we were catching fish, and there I am cooking and making fish. It was like the perfect day. And I don't know what had really shifted in my relationship with my ex-wife, but she just really didn't enjoy the outdoors as much as I thought she used to. I remember when we first got married, hey, are you an outdoorsy girl? Oh yeah, I grew up outdoorsy. Right. And I remember being on that day, and my kids were loving it. I was loving it. And in that season, there was a pattern where my ex-wife, she didn't go with us to a lot of places. I took my kids camping and fishing all the time. And obviously, I always invited her, hey, do you want to go with us? I don't know. She didn't really want to go. That's what kind of led to a lot to the ending of that relationship, because we stopped doing life together. But it was getting long in the day, and she was getting anxious, and her family tradition was usually her dad would have like a big barbecue. And I think that there was something about not being back home with her family that was like triggering something in her. And so she was just getting really impatient, but it had been a long day, and we had started with breakfast in the morning, and we were past lunch, and no one had eaten. And I remember, we get done off the lake. She was like already ready to go and in a big rush, thinking we were just going to drive like almost 3 hours home, all hauling ass. And I was like, nah, man, we're starving. Like, we need to pull over. We need to eat. And so I remember there was a decision to either start heading back home or to drive straight for like 10 miles to go to these waterfalls. And I made a decision, right? I said, you know what? We're not going to get home at a reasonable time if we go to make the right turn and haul ass all the way home. I was like, we all are starving. We need to eat. There's probably no restaurants, because this is rural northern New Mexico, southern Colorado. There's no restaurants open. And so I drove him up to this waterfall. And the minute I started doing that, my poor wife, she started throwing a tantrum like a little kid, like a little girl. And I remember, at least when that happened, I was a wounded guy still. I was sober, but I was wounded. And so I wasn't able to really hold that space as the way I can now. And again, what I'm talking about is I'm trying to highlight that we all still have an inner child. And if your inner child is still feeling unloved, unseen by you, the adult that's hearing this message, like you act like it that little kid isn't still in there with all the wounds and all the scaredness and feeling unloved or feeling abused, whatever you had to survive as a little kid. When you just act like it's all adult life, I already know how you feel. The chances are you probably feel stressed out, you probably feel overwhelmed, you take your life too fucking serious. And if you want to know the hack to be able to channel your fountain of youth and to start having some more genuine fun in life, you need your ability to reconnect with the child version of who you are is at the core of that. If you can give yourself permission to reconnect with the little child inside of you, and I always ask people this question: name 2 to 3 things that you loved to do, not liked. I said loved. Name 3 things that you loved to do as a little kid by yourself. So, not with groups. We should all have at least 2 to 3 things that we can remember really enjoying, loving, doing by ourselves as little kids. My example of that is I loved riding my bike. I loved playing with G.I. Joes and action figures and building forts and digging tunnels in the dirt. You know, I always thought as a little kid I was either going to find a treasure or I was going to get to China. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. And then third was I love to fish. I love to go fishing, so the point that I'm trying to make is if you want to start to enjoy life more, the way that you can do that starting right here and right now is you can write these 2 to 3 things that you used to do as a kid. And can you guess what's next? Can you guess what I'm going to tell you next? You need to start doing these things. Not all the time, not every day, but you need to do them a lot more than it's been 10, 20, 30 years, 5 years, 2 years, 8 months since you've done any of these things. And it may sound kind of silly. I'm literally I've made a commitment to myself that I'm gonna order some action figures. And I'm gonna build a little zip line. I'm gonna dig a little moat, and I'm going to take a little bit of time because I used to love doing that so much, right? To just honor the child inside of me. And it's like we're so serious in this day and age. And some of that stuff may sound stupid. I also used to love roller skating, but riding a bike is something that, it's not really a kid thing or an adult thing, but it's something as a kid, I rode my bike more than anybody else in the whole fucking neighborhood, especially all summer long. So when was the last time you done that? Some of you might have loved to paint or to sing or to play an instrument or to dance. And it's like, when was the last time you did this? And is this going to solve all your life's problems? No, this doesn't solve any problems. But what it does is it starts to connect you with that inner child so that you need to re-parent. It's called reparenting. Write that word down, reparenting. What does that mean? That means that whether you have kids or no kids, yeah, man, that's awesome. I love that, Adam. Whether you have kids or not kids, if your relationship can improve as a parent with your children, or you would like for it to improve if you want to be a better parent, guess where you start? Be a better parent to your inner child. Start taking care of that little kid inside of you. I appreciate that feedback. Jojo, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, this inner child thing is so powerful because the inner child is what carries the wounds, but it also has the key to your happiness. You will not find your happiness in another person. Did you hear that? Be honest. How many of you are looking for happiness in someone else? Or how many of you think that you can be the happiness for someone else? How many of you think that someone else, what's up, Gordy? I love you too, bro. How many of you think that you are responsible for someone else's happiness? No. No, 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 no. How many of you think that you just need to find the right person, and when you do, then you'll be happy? Mm-mm. It won't last. It never does. It never, ever, ever, ever does. What you want, the happiness you want, the love you want, the peace you want, the support you want, the connection you want, that deep connection, the truth you want, the intimacy you want. Guess where it is? It's inside of you. It's all inside of you. Yeah, that's a great question, Adam. That's coming up a lot in this breath work that I'm doing right now. And it gets a little woo-woo-y, but yeah, I mean, when you're healing emotional wounds, we store our emotions in the body. So to think, a lot of you are carrying around illnesses and chronic pain, what Adam's talking about here, as a result of your unhealed emotional wounds. Because when trauma happens to you, mostly when you're a child, when you receive trauma as a child, you internalize that trauma in a wound and you energetically block off a part of your body that you feel violated in, that you feel that pain in. And so you got to understand your energy centers. The other thing that you need to know about is the left side of your body is reflective of the feminine, which means your whole like mother's ancestral line. The right side of your body is the whole father's ancestral line. And so, absolutely, when you're starting to heal the emotions, you're going to stimulate these places where you have energy blockage. And as you open the blockage, I mean, one, you're going to be surprised as to like, dang, a lot of you don't realize you're storing a lot of ailment and illness and pain in your body that is associated with emotions, but you think it's just wear and tear or aging or some unknown reason why you keep waking up with a backache or a leg ache or a foot ache, a jaw ache, a headache. And a lot of this is absolutely a result of what Adam just asked there, which is unhealed emotional trauma. And I'm seeing it right now. Here's where it gets woo-wooey, you guys. Strap in your seatbelts. If you can grab a hold of this, I promise you, you're in the right place at the right time. Some of these pains that you're feeling, and they're not always, right? Things trigger. Some of these things that you're experiencing, if you have stomach, right? If you got stomach digestive problems, right, in the hips, especially women a lot, if you're ticklish in your hips, there's a good chance you're storing sexual trauma there. And it doesn't even have to be physical. People can abuse you sexually, psychologically. The other piece is past lives. There are literally blockages in this body energetically from past lives. And yet I fully have I'm clearing out residue. I've done most of the major purges in terms of healing not only this life but past lives through this breath work that I'm going through this 8-day training to be certified to teach this pranayama breath work, which isn't just breathing. It's not just a little breathing yoga thing. This is spiritual healing stuff. This is major spiritual healing stuff. And it's so wild how potent it is. A room full of 40 people, people crying, even me, man, crying, screaming, yelling, reliving past memories. And it's like, but in all of that is surrender and releasing these things from your body so you can be free. Yeah, I appreciate you, Christopher. I'm glad that the message is resonating, you know. I mean, this is the real deal. You know, people are getting tired of the entertainment type content that's just strictly entertainment bullshit about dumb shit. Like we want real. You well, thanks for showing up, Ahmed. I'm gonna have to go visit you here soon, man. Dubai. I've been to Dubai but that was back in the 90s before it got super big, expansive. And so yeah, this child, the child though is the key. The hard truths, man. Yeah, it's just the truth, really. I mean, it is hard truth, but it's only hard if you want it to be hard. If you're in a place where you're just ready to surrender, man, you're tired of just here's one of the hardest ones to wrap your head around, and it's something I'm working on this week and I've been working on it for a long time. Because I come from that mindset of the hustle and grind, man, the hustle and grind, being the hardest working motherfucker out there. And it's like that, even that system is dying. And here's how you know it's dying. Look at the economy, look at technology. Technology is going to take out most of the jobs. So then what? What are you going to do then? Well, my belief is that it's time for us to heal, and as you heal, here's what happens. You start tapping into true spiritual creativity that is embedded inside of you, and that creativity is actually going to be an expression of something that is so you, so real, so authentic that it in of itself provides value to humanity, and that value will come back in return. And that is going to be how many people that thrive in the future, which is now, is going to, that's what's going to give you the uh, the head start, right? As you heal your emotional wounds and start to clear out your karma, clear out all the negative blockages, all the old stories of emotional pain and trauma. You start clearing all that, doing forgiveness, letting people go. Yeah, I believe in curses. I think my family had a curse. I mean, I'm ending like straight up MCG. I'm ending generational curses. I'm over here in New Mexico. I mean, we got the witches, we got witchcraft and black curses and all kinds of weird shit like that. So I absolutely believe in all that. And I know that if I'm somebody that has the potential to end a generational curse, guess what? That's probably why you're here right now too. I think you're onto something amazing. I think it's Amelia. Absolutely, you're unlocking levels, and it's really timelines. The levels is timelines, right? So there's it right now. It's like a multiverse. There's still the wounded version of me that if I never did the healing work, if I never released all that trauma and the emotional wounds, right? That life is still playing itself out, right? There's like a mediocre timeline where I kind of did the work, but then I fell back and, and then there's the highest timeline. And so I'm on the highest timeline right now. And I'm continuing to get higher and higher. I mean, the visions I've been getting this week, we're going, this is global. This is the next wave of spiritualism on this planet, of the awakening of people into doing the healing work. No more fucking the feelings. It's feeling the feelings, right? Yeah, that's true. All the bandages are being shaken up. Everything's getting stripped, right? Everywhere you want to run. Yeah, I have a hard time keeping track of days myself. I'm pretty free. I, I live a pretty free and abundant life right now. So I have a hard time keeping track of them days. To me, every day's the same. I don't hold Saturdays or holidays or this day or that day. It's a day of life. That's the greatest gift. I'm in the present. Every day is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So I don't really get caught up in the days, right? I don't look at one day superior than the other, and I treat every day like it's the best day of my life. And I ask God every single day, show me how incredible today can be. Show me how incredible it can be. And when people ask me how's your day going, my standard is it's wonderful. A lot of people call me Mr. Wonderful. Like, dang, man, that's all you ever say, Mr. Wonderful, huh? It's always wonderful over there. And it's just a mindset. That doesn't mean I'm not dealing with big challenges, or I'm not like, you know, having to face some fears and get uncomfortable on situations, but it's all just a mindset, man. It's like everything that shows up in my life, I truly do believe that it is here for me, and that I don't have bad days. I may have a challenging hour or a moment, but it's not going to ruin my day. It's not going to ruin my week or my life. Not anything. Nothing's going to take me off of what I am called to do. And it's like, I really appreciate it. Seems like a lot of you that have been getting on here recently are starting to, especially new subscribers. Some of y'all have seen the transformation that's taking place in me still. And yet a lot of new people are like, man, you sound really authentic. And that's the sexiest thing, ain't it? I mean, I truly am here to serve, to help, to support. And nothing I'm talking about is something that I haven't experienced firsthand, because I'm going through healing even right now as we're talking. I mean, I'm investing my time, my money, my energy into things that I have tried and said, holy shit, I can't believe how powerful this breath work is. And it just so happens the guy that wrote the books that's teaching it, look this guy up, David Elliott, man. Thank you, Gavin. I appreciate that. Much love to you, bro. Thank you for that. Right? David Elliott. The book is called Healing. Healing by David Elliott. Please, please, please listen to that book. I love this guy so much. He's my spiritual teacher. I just came across his material around Christmas, and the synchronicity and the synergy between him and me. He's out here in New Mexico. I'm going to this workshop. It's a couple hours from my home. And it's been the most incredible experience, but I'm going to be certified and trained under his teaching of the breath work. And he's an incredible spiritual teacher as well. But it's not like I'm not going to be a carbon copy of him, because even in our groups, I'm standing out as somebody that I bring all of this inner child work and the journals and the app, the self-discovery work, which that's not really his thing. Like, his book gets into some of that, and yet that's where we're very complementary. I think a lot of people get into into competition. It's like, I'm not competing against nobody, right? I'm looking for people that we can complement each other. that we can build each other up, we can cheer each other on, we can celebrate each other's victories. Your wins doesn't mean I have to lose. Me winning doesn't mean you have to lose. We can all be in on this. What are you asking, Gavin? Can you convo? Yeah, that's what's cool about it, bro. I mean, it's you whatever reality you want, and that's why right now it is so important, right? What you focus on, that's where your energy goes. That becomes your reality. So right now, if you're focused on the doom and the gloom and the division and the this and the that, the government and the social issues, you're going to be stuck in that. And it's not going to fulfill you. It's going to leave you stuck. It's going to leave you miserable. It's going to leave you emotionally bankrupt, feeling worse about life and yourself and being depressed and sad about something that you have no control over. Can you join? Can I join, bro? I don't know, man. I'm not sure about that. Yo. Hmm. Join. Let me see if this comes through, bro. I'm gonna try this, but if this gets whacked, then I'm gonna probably cank that shit. I haven't really invited nobody on here. I know a lot of people do this stuff. Those of you that are listening.
Yo,
Hello.
what's going on, dude?
How you doing, Gavin?
I'm doing all right, man.
Can everybody hear this guy? I'm gonna turn you up
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
little bit. What's up, dude? What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about I first discovered you, and you were in the military, right?
Yeah, I was a Navy corpsman with the Marines, FMF.
Yeah, I seen you on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Not yet, dude. Not yet. That's
Nah,
my.
that was you, dude. That was you, dude.
Everybody thinks that's me. That's so funny.
Has to be you.
Everybody thinks that's me. I always take that as a compliment. We're sort of cut from the same cloth. Um, he's definitely a warrior amongst warriors, and I'm a spiritual warrior amongst spiritual warriors.
All right. So what do you mean by that?
I just mean that his purpose was, and you're talking about John McAfee. He was the sheriff of Baghdad, and a lot of people think he's my doppelganger. He's because we do look alike, we talk alike, so I get that. I get that a lot.
You got
And
a good sense of humor about things. You got like darkness on.
for me, that man was so brave. He would go outside the line, operating deep in Baghdad on his own. And there's very few dudes that have that kind of courage, that kind of valor inside their heart to do that
Yeah.
stuff. But where that energy picks up in me is I'm out here in the spiritual battle. What I'm talking about is not popular, right?
Right.
This ain't popular conversation, man. Most people want to be talking about sports and entertainment and this bullshit and that bullshit, and yet we're talking about healing emotional wounds. We're talking about getting sober. We're talking about actually doing the work to improve ourselves on our own, where we don't have to blame someone else for the rest of our life for the problems that we have. We can become a positive solution.
I'm trying to become that.
What's holding you back?
I really don't know, and I don't have the answers. I don't
Well,
have the answer.
usually the biggest thing that's holding us back is ourselves.
Yeah. You think maybe it's change in emotions that are keeping me bind to this negative energy.
Yeah, what do you struggle with the most? What's your biggest
Uh,
fear?
my marriage is just biggest struggle.
The marriage? How many years you been married?
2.
2 years? I was married for
I've been married.
21 years. Do you have children?
Yes.
What makes it so hard?
It's very complicated, man.
Does it remind you of your family growing up?
No.
It's very different.
Yeah.
What makes it different?
I can't speak on it. It's
If
one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nothing against them. I would rather walk away in peace.
yeah, but
I don't know.
you have a lot of responsibility there as a man.
I know.
And the number one responsibility that I believe everyone here listening has, right? If you want to know your purpose in life, Gavin, is to be the best version of you. Well,
True indeed.
what does that mean? What's the best
Discipline.
version of you? A lot of people get tripped up by that. So the way that I like to reframe that is, what don't you want to be? What don't you want to be a part of your life? Write a list down. Write a list down of the things that no longer are working for you in your life. What are the things beyond just the relationship? What are the things about you that no longer are working? Is it your attitude? Is it your frustration? Is it your fears? Is it any addiction issues? Any anger issues? Any unresolved, you know, family issues in terms of your relationship with mom and dad, sisters, uncles, brothers, sisters? I mean, anybody. I mean, we really need to start taking responsibility for our lives and realizing that you're not hopeless, you're not helpless, it's not too late. And dude, I turned my whole life around, but for me, it took hitting one too many rock bottoms
Yeah.
for me to wake up and say, you know what? It's all on me, man. Like, I got to take ownership of this. I'm a man. I know I'm a man. However, comma, I'm still behaving like a little boy, and I need to grow the fuck up.
Facts.
Send you love, man. Take care.
Peace.
All right. Well, we tried that. I like actually people coming on. If you guys know if you can handle that kind of heat, man. I mean, I'm not here to sugarcoat things, right? I'm here to challenge you. I'll encourage you. Emerald, yeah, thanks for sharing that. That's a powerful thing. I've been talking about that all night. For sure, the inner child. It's the real talk, right? It that there's, you know, that was my big breakthrough in 20 at the end of 2021. Like, I was coming off of a really really heartbreak type breakup, and my therapist at the time started to pick up on, the victimization, and I was like, kind of like licking my wounds and feeling all filled with grief and sorrow and guilt and shame for all my mess ups. Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's never easy, man. It's never easy to take the heat. So I'm glad you guys could hear him. And I'm open to other people if you want to be put on here and have a conversation about life. I love coaching, man. I love coaching. Like, I kind of look at it as like I'm a big brother, I'm a coach, but I'm also super dad. And there's a lot of inner children out there that, if you haven't started the reparenting process, falling in love, seeing your inner child, loving on your inner child, then that's what this is all about. That's the most beautiful thing, is for you to be able to know that you have that power, that you have the power to do that. I was talking to this one lady today, man. She sounded like Buddha, because we're going through this spiritual healing process in this breath work, and there's a lot of people that are really excited. They're like, it's a bunch of me. It's 40 versions of me, just at different phases, that are just so leaning into the healing and releasing of the anger and the resentment and the shame and the guilt and the pain and the trauma and the victimization, and wanting to just let all that shit go free. That's an interesting way to look at it. I don't know if I've ever heard that you let your hurt inner child go to your ancestors. I'm not sure. I mean, I know your ancestors are a part of that, but I've never. I mean, I would guess I would be interested to hear more about what that experience is like. Because for me, that your inner child doesn't go nowhere. If it's not, if your inner child, if you don't feel like your inner child is, if you don't even realize or identify that you have your inner child there with you right now, it's because your inner child is tucked away in a deep dark corner of your soul, and you are totally ignoring and avoiding reconnecting with that version of you because of how much pain that you went through as a kid. And it's scary. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage for you to realize that you were so powerless back then, that you didn't have the abilities to maybe protect yourself or to defend yourself or whatever you needed in that moment. And a lot of these violations come at the hands of people that, at the hands and the mouths, right? Of people that that we love and that we once trusted. But your inner child is still there. I mean, your ancestors are there too, but the inner work, sending a hurt child away doesn't make them go away. They're still there. Yeah, I just think you're disassociating, if I'm honest with you, Laura. I think that you're trying to avoid, like, I think you're disassociating the fact that it's your responsibility to heal, not your ancestors, right? It's yours. It's your responsibility. We all need to find the strength to face ourselves, to see that little child inside, go in the time machine, no judgment, no criticism. And for a lot of people, that's a journey that you're unwilling to do at this time. And I understand that. Yeah, I don't doubt that you have blackouts. I can guarantee you though that through the breath work that I'm teaching, you can you can get through that. You can get to the other side of that. You can get to the other side of that. I think sending off your inner child is a story that you're telling yourself as a coping mechanism, but it's not. It Nothing's healing, nothing's happening. You're just it's an avoidance of the real work that you need to do. And that's the thing, is you're only going to want to do the work when you're ready to do the work. I can promise you that the reason why you don't remember the worst of it is because of how bad it is, right? This Laura's talking about her childhood, and a lot of people that I come in contact with, it's usually attached to sexual, right? And that's something I specialize in, is helping people to heal, right? Sexual, emotional, and childhood trauma, right? And it's done through some paperwork, like doing some work, right? Really trying to remember what you can. And the interesting thing, Laura, what I've experienced is that when whatever whatever one, if there's one thing that you do remember, once you unpack that one thing and you release it, you do the forgiveness ritual and you do the breath work behind it, and you really start to really lean into that. Once that one thing is clear that you do remember, then guess what? The next thing comes up. So you don't need to remember everything all at once. If you just go back as far as you can, you work there, clear that, and then the next thing will show up. And that's where most people are just oblivious. Most of y'all don't even realize that this is how it works. This is true healing. And I've tried it all, man. I'm not going to beat that horse tonight in terms of all the different ones. It's all the help, man. When it comes to everyday, you know, I I'm not a psychologist. I'm a healer. I'm a spiritual healer, not religious. And so I definitely recommend professional help, but I've also found a lot of limitations in professional help. I've also found that a lot of people try to turn family members, best friends into therapists, and that never goes well also, right? And so the most important thing is that if you have a desire to release, to truly cultivate the inner peace that you desire, the strength, the clarity, the freedom, right? You have the power inside of you to do that. You don't need anybody on the outside. And if you want an incredible resource, I'm going to say this again. I get paid nothing for this, but I love this man so much. He's my spiritual teacher. Please, 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 everyone here right now, listen to this book, Healing. The book is called Healing by David Elliott. Get yourself that book. It will change your life, especially if you start doing the breath works at the end. And they're very well done. But the whole book has curriculum in it, and it's incredible, right? I'm in a 8-day course right now, mid 5 figures to enroll in, and I'm getting certified to be able to teach his breath work. I have my own way of teaching and guiding people through the healing process of sexual, emotional, and childhood trauma. But the breath work is really like the catalyst that pulls it all together, man. It's so incredible. Who would have thought, right? Just breath work. Breath work. When people are like, breath work. Man, breath. The breath is the secret sauce. That's what it is. The breath is the secret sauce. Yeah, professional help. I still go to a therapist because I like talk therapy just to kind of bounce ideas off of. I'm not going there for emotional healing. I just need a sounding board that's not a family member, a friend, so it doesn't get perverted. But I've had a pretty amazing um, therapist that's even helped me with some of the emotional stuff. She helped me with what Emerald was talking about earlier, which is she's my therapist in 2021 started doing crosstalk with me as I was coming out of this failed relationship, where she started asking me, you know what, I want to ask you a question. Yeah, right. That's funny, man. I'll be honest, like it's funny you say that. Every therapist that I've ever had, there is reciprocity. There are times where they're helping me, and there's definitely times that I'm helping them. And that should be everything. You guys have that same gift too. The good thing about a therapist, I mean, they're not going to fix all your problems, but I just believe that most of us, we just need someone to talk to that's not going to judge us and like there's not a manipulation because there's some kind of a relationship there. When you start telling people that you love or that you think you love or that friends, they can't handle your shit. And you're going to probably get judged for it. So when you have a therapist, you can kind of do a dump there of all the shit that you're going through. And they should be a good therapist is a good sounding board, right? They'll give you some good guidance. But it's usually not, hey, we're going to fix all your problems in this session. It's just like, here's more resources. My spiritual leader, David Elliott, he gets, and I see this will be in my situation too. I guarantee you, in just a matter of like a year or two, I'm going to probably get most of the people that I work with one-on-one through therapists. Therapists are going to send people because therapists don't know how to walk through. They don't know, they can't really touch how to spiritually release sexual trauma trapped in the body. They don't know how to release emotional trauma trapped in the body, childhood trauma trapped in the body. They don't know how to deal with that shit at a spiritual level. But they'll go back and talk to you about all that stuff, but it's not going to be sustainable and long lasting. It's not going to give you the full relief that you truly, truly, truly desire. The only way you do that is going in that time machine. And the inner child is what holds the key. Falling in love with your inner child, seeing your inner child. Just knowing how much your little inner child loves you. I was telling a lady today, she was so overwhelmed through this workshop, and it was kind of cool because the program gave her a space to basically go on a rage. They threw all these pillows in the middle and she just could fucking go crazy, just get out this anger she was holding in, man. And there was no judgment. Not one person. She looked around after she was done exhausting all her anger. She looked around this room of 40 people like me, and not one look of judgment. Most of us felt liberated by her expression of anger and feeling so free with no judgment. To just be okay. It's okay to be angry in a container that is safe. It's not okay to do like what I used to do. Yeah, thanks for the compliment. Edit Cars. Post your pic, man. I'll give you a compliment too. I'll give you a lookalike. But the beautiful thing is that she was given the space to just in front of everybody, like a fucking in the middle of a ring, just a bull in the ring, man, just letting out all this primal anger in her soul. Not one person was judging her. There's just nothing but love. But her being able to do that gave so many other people permission to let out the anger in a safe way. Right? To just yell. We're doing this breath work, and people, you'll just hear somebody, they'll get a pillow and put over their face. Because, we need that. We need to release this energy. It's locked. You guys, how much of that energy do you guys have locked inside of you? And you think that it's like, it's self-control, and it's like, you're not controlling nothing, man. That energy is going to get you. The energy is going to get you. Because it'll leak out. I'm glad to hear that, Laura. That you're taking care of spiritually. Spiritually is the thing, I mean, it's not just spiritual, though. Mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and physical health, right? My hope for you is that you're living a sober life, right? And that's like mental health. That's the clarity of mind that you need to go through that fire of freedom, of letting yourself be free. And that's where most people are like, I can't, man, sober. What? Come on, man. Like, all right, dude, like it's cool. No Leo here. I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio sun with Aquarius moon. Yeah. Yeah, no Leo here. A lot of people think I'm a white lion though. In my visualizations in the breath work, I've been seeing myself as a war eagle. That's been pretty powerful. Powerful shit. I keep howling in them. Louder like a fucking wolf on top of a mountain, because I want to share this message with the world to help people help themselves to eliminate their mental, emotional suffering. Yeah, the white lion, a lot of people, that's what they're starting to call me. The white lion. They always say people are going to, you don't got to come up with your name. That's a beautiful name, Laura. Mama Wolf, Warrior, Tree Flower. Yeah. So where would I start? I always like to think about that practical. So you're not just listening. Let's just say that you're sitting there and you're like, yeah, this guy's making sense, man. Where do you start? Where do you start? If I was you and you were wanting to start doing some inner child work, I wouldn't even recommend you my own results kill excuses, resources, because I'm about to revamp a lot of things. Where I would start would be listening to the book Healing by David Elliott and then doing all of his assignments in there. Let's see if I have it. Where's my phone? That's what I would do. If I was in a seat right now saying, you know what, I like what this guy's saying. I wonder if this could work for me. I wonder if this could help me out. Right? Healing by David Elliott. Download it on Audible. Don't even try and say, well, I like to read the books. Don't read the books. Just download it. Right? Just download it. If you ain't got money to download it, send me a message and maybe I'll buy it for you. Right? But that's where I would start. I would listen to that book and I would do every assignment in there, which there's a lot. He's like me. He's a teacher, so he gives you homework. He gives you shit to do. And I've done all of his assignments in the book, and you know, his assignments are really good. Um it the stuff that I offer with the self-discovery work is very similar, so I would also go there next. You can't afford like 15 bucks, Joy? Yeah. I mean 15 bucks for your emotional spiritual freedom, right? There's probably even, if you can't afford it on Audible, I'll tell you a good resource is your local library. If you go to your local library and get a library card, most of them have a free digital. A lot of people don't realize this. Your local library has a free digital archive of books, and a lot of top popular books are actually available there. So if you're somebody that's like, trying to be frugal or not spend money on transformation and investing in your own health, um, I'm not going to really question all that. I'm giving you a free resource. A free resource is to go to your local library, sign up, and see if that book is available. Most popular books, they have at least a copy of it that they let you use. But that's where I would start. If I was you right now, I believe in his work so much. That's why I'm here, which is where's here? He has a property here called Sandia Park, New Mexico, just outside of Albuquerque. And so I'm just north of that. So look up here. Let me type it. I'm going to type it. Where is it? Comment. The book is called Healing. David Elliott. Get that book. If you're looking for a place to start, please get that book. Right? Major recommendation. He has 2 books, but I would start with Healing first. If you feel that you're called to be a healer because you're going to really go all in on healing yourself, and what I'm telling you is that anything you heal in yourself, you are then perfectly qualified to help someone else. You don't need a certificate, you don't need to go to school and become a doctor or psychologist or none of that. This new day and age, if you heal yourself, there are billions of people, guys, everyone's going to be faced with this opportunity to heal. It's what's happening on this planet. I am telling you this. Everyone. So guess what? That means many, 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 many millions and millions upon millions of people. If you heal yourself in a true and authentic way and start living a life where you have a heart to help other people, you will be a great service to humanity, greater than anything you've ever done. It's where we're headed. Healing by David Elliott. And in that is just so much, there's so much in there, right? What I did is, I think just even since the first of the year, I've listened to that book 4 times. So I listened to it once, right, just to kind of wrap my head around everything he's talking about. And there's some tough subjects in there, especially the sexual trauma stuff. Woo, man, you're gonna get triggered by that. I know I got triggered by it. Most people would say that they haven't had any sexual abuse, but what most people don't realize is that sexual abuse isn't just physical, it can be psychological. And yet you absorb that energy, especially as a child. And that shit will stay hidden inside of you. The other thing that a lot of you are dealing with, if you have a hard time trusting your intuition, trusting your inner voice, right? You feel really confused. Yeah, you're already on that healing path, Alexandria. So just keep expanding, keep healing yourself, right? And that even adding, you know, breath work as a part of your practice will probably set you up for life, right? By doing the work that needs to be done and helping people heal. Yeah, I love the interactions, you guys. I love getting on here. I'm a little bit like still blissed out because the breath works that we've been doing and just all the beautiful people that I'm spending. Like, we're there from I was there from 8 to 7 today. Just beautiful people, just totally on healing journey and having these hearts. A lot of them don't even really have the heart yet to want to be considered a healer and to help others. However, by helping yourself, you do help others. That's something that I absolutely believe. That when you heal yourself, you're actually healing a part of this planet, a very special part of this planet, and that part is you. And every room you walk into feels the healed version of you. Just like if you've ever been in a room and you know somebody is like super depressed, super angry, super upset, just like toxic energy because they're just like, rah, you feel it. So when you feel somebody that's like so open-hearted and lit up and, you know, having fun. When was the last time you met someone that just walks around and they're just like, man, you look like you're having fun, man. Like, what are you doing that's so different? Thanks, Easton. Yeah, I get Jack Black. I get all kinds of celebrity references. Habibi. I get a lot of celebrity references. You just gotta realize I'm the celebrity. But I look like a lot of different people I hear sometimes. And that's cool. Aquaman. Yeah. I love that cold water too. I love water. It's my favorite. Black Jacked. Yeah. The inner child. Yeah, that inner child. That's really the key. The inner child connection. Reconnecting with your inner child. Even just acknowledging it. I feel like I want to lead you guys in a short little visualization if you're up for it. If you've been listening tonight, I'm gonna probably close out here in like the next 10 minutes. Yeah, gratitude's huge for getting lit up. Gratitude. I start every day with gratitude, positive affirmations, journaling. and there's a lot of gratitude in the journaling. Then it's, breath work, some sun gazing, some grounding, cold shower. My morning routine is really what sets me up for success for whatever the day brings. I don't have no expectations. I have things that matter. I have things that I want to work on to be better, to set myself up for success, to show up for myself and others. At the end of the day though, the morning routine is the catalyst, is the foundation of a successful day. And if you're not, if you literally are just rolling out of the bed, right, smashing the snooze, hitting the shower as fast as you can, getting dressed, barely eating, and running out the door to work, like, you have the power to make more time for your morning. But in order to do that, guess what? You got to be able to create boundaries for your evening, right? The way you get up earlier is by landing that plane earlier the night before. If you want to wake up early, it means you got to go to bed early. A lot of people say, I'm not a morning person. Well, just put yet. I'm not a morning person yet. But there, if you try, even if it's just like 30 more minutes, right? Could you start with 30 more minutes and make that time sacred? Affirmations, some gratitude, maybe a little like 10 minutes of breath work. And then journaling, if you have a little bit of time to write some gratitude down, right? If you want something better. And then 9 to 5ers have all the excuses in the world. Because again, you don't got to be doing that. This guy's saying 9 to 5ers have all the time in the world. They definitely don't have all the time in the world, but they also have the same amount of time as anyone else. And it's just, how do you use your time? How are you investing your time? What are you doing to break yourself free from whatever it is that isn't setting you up for your greatest success? So we could do a visualization. I want to do that. I think that would be nice. I've been thinking a lot about inner childs. I think it's good for us to just take 5 minutes to recognize that the inner child is there. So if you would like to join in with the visualization, just make yourself nice and comfortable here in the next minute. If you can hear my voice, then you'll be fine. You can either be sitting down, you can be laying down. Standing is probably not ideal, but sitting or laying, just make sure you're comfortable. And make sure that it's safe. You're in a safe place where you can just close your eyes and be at peace for about 5 minutes. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate that, man. Because I think for you to be able to witness and have an experience reconnecting with your inner child, that's going to kind of wake you up a little bit to say, wait, yeah, there is that little person inside of me. And they do have something to say. And sometimes I've had people say that they connect with the inner child and the inner child's kind of a little distant. They're like, yeah, thanks for coming. But the reason why they're distant is because you have silenced them. You turned down the volume for what mattered to them a long time ago. So if you think they're just gonna show up and just be so, I mean, they're excited to see you, because if you're not spending any time acknowledging them, like mentally, well, then there's a total breakdown in your connection. And if it's just like anybody, if you want to be close to anybody, if you never talk, never listen to them, never pay any attention to them, what kind of relationship is it? That sucks. But don't be filled with guilt. Allow yourself to realize that what I'm saying really gives you an opportunity to heal that. And if you heal the relationship you have with your inner child, I promise you're going to start to improve relationship you have with your own kids or your grandkids. Thank you, Alexandra. You're going to be healing the relationship you have with all kinds of people. That is literally the facts. If you want to improve the relationship you have with anyone else, improve the relationship you have with yourself. Well, who are you? You have an inner child, you have an adult, and you have a parent. And right now, most of you, your parent is not developed. And the parent is the biggest opportunity for you to develop your communication skills, your emotional mastery, your self awareness, your self mastery, your emotional intelligence, right? It's for the parent to be the teacher, to be the mentor, to be the mediator, to be the rock. And I can almost guarantee you that the parent that you want to create is not going to be like the parent you were raised by. This is going to be the parent you wish you always had, the best friend you always had, the mentor, the loving, kind, unconditionally caring person that you never had in your life. You can create that for yourself. And as you do, guess what? You're going to be sharing that person not just with yourself, you're going to share it with everyone else outside of you. And that's going to make you feel so much better about yourself, which will also create that opportunity for you to go deeper in your healing, deeper into forgiveness and releasing things that cause you pain within. So with that being said, I don't have my bowl with me right now, but we'll start our visualization. We'll start with a little bit of breath work. We're not going to be doing this magic breath yet, but I will be doing some opportunities for people to sign up and do some breath work online here in the next few weeks. So if you can, just go ahead and be comfortable. Whatever you need to do to be comfortable where you're at, we're going to do some breath work and we'll do a visualization. So let's just go ahead and start to connect with our breath in through our nose. Nice and gentle, nice and slow. Thank you. So our breath should just be nice and slow in through our nose. And exhale. And make sure you let all the breath out. Let every bit of oxygen you have out. Let's go and do that again. In through our nose. And hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Let out all the breath. And then go and take in that breath again into your nose, focusing on your breath. And hold at the top. And as you're holding, maybe tell your mind to just take a rest. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Let it all out, just focusing on your breath. Any thoughts that come up, just let them melt away. Taking that deep breath again through your nose. And hold. And again, you may have to ask permission. Brain, mind. Can I please have a few moments to focus on my breath, to be present? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Let's do that one more time. Let's go deep. In through our nose. Fill it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you haven't done this yet, I want you to just let your eyes close. Just start to connect with your natural breath. Just gently in through your nose and out. Just put all your focus on that breath. And I want you to picture yourself standing in a yard of a house, but not just any house. I want you to be standing in front of your childhood home. And in visualizing your childhood home, you may not have the most fondest memories. You may not feel the safest in that home. It doesn't matter. You're here now and you're safe. It's safe to be here now. You can tell your mind that, you can tell your body that, tell your spirit that to be here is what matters most. The fact to be in front of your childhood home in that yard, and you're staring at the front door. And as you're staring at that front door, you decide to start to walk up to that front door. And the closer that you get to the door, you start to feel a peace within you. And without thinking about it, you go to reach for the handle and you see that the door is unlocked. And you open up the door, and as you enter that home, you hear the sound of a child. The child is making some noise. Sounds like they're having a good time. And as you step into the home, a child starts to walk closer to you. And as you see that child, you recognize who this is. This is the younger version of yourself. And that brings a big smile to yourself. You recognize their outfit, their haircut, their eyes, their skin, arms, legs. And they walk up to you and they say hello. And they reach in, give you a hug, and you reach down, you give them a hug, and you actually pick them up into your arms. You're just so grateful to be holding this precious child that is you. You whisper in their ears that you love them so much. And they turn their head and they give you a kiss on your forehead. They tell you they love you too. They say they have a message for you. There's something really important that you need to hear. And with excitement and eagerness, you say, "Of course, I would love to hear what you have to say to me." And in this moment, they begin to share a message with you. Receive your message now. As they finish sharing this message with you, you tell them thank you and that you love them. You give them a hug, give them a kiss on their forehead, and you set them down and they tell you that they're going to go outside to play. But as they're walking out, they say that there's a message for you on the mirror in the bathroom of your childhood home. And that message is from your higher self, the version of you that you have yet to become, but you are on your way to becoming. That your higher self was there earlier that day and left a message for you, written in marker on the mirror in the bathroom. And so you proceed to go into the bathroom of your childhood home. As you enter, you look to the mirror, you see a reflection of your current self, but you also see that there is a message written in marker on the mirror. Read the message now. And as you take in the message that was left for you from your higher self, your heart is filled with gratitude and appreciation and some determination, knowing that there's still work to be done. There's lots of work to be done. But you feel that you have the ability to do the work and the support to help you get the work done. And so as you start to walk back towards the front door, exiting your childhood home, you reach the front door and you open it. You step outside. You realize that it's a warm, sunny day. Reminds you of some of the best days of your life when you were just a little kid. And you look out and you see your inner child doing something that you loved to do so much when you were that age. What is your inner child doing right now that you loved to do when you were just a little kid? Feel the joy, feel the love, feel that careless spirit of freedom and liberty. A spirit less serious, less burdened, less bitter from the activities of adult life. And as you take in this activity that you once truly loved to do, you feel compelled to want to reconnect with that inner child inside of you and to make a way for you to start to re-engaging this activity as a symbol of love and peace to yourself, to reignite that youthful spirit within you, that childlike energy, that fountain of youth, knowing that you don't have to be serious all the time, that you can give yourself permission to have fun, to be playful again, to be free. And as you step away from the door, you see that there's a bench out in the sun. You take a seat. And you have such a huge smile on your face, smile in your eyes, and a smile in your heart as you're just mesmerized by the playful, youthful, energized child version of yourself, longing to reconnect. And maybe you want to put your hands over your heart in this moment and just repeat this gentle commitment to yourself, to that inner child. So just repeat after me. You can say the inner child's name. Maybe like with me, it was Gregory versus Greg. So you want to call your inner child by that childlike name. Maybe it was a nickname the family called you, but you want to say their name. You're going to say that you love them, that you see them, that you hear them, and that you truly want to spend more time connecting with them from this moment forward. That you make a commitment to yourself to truly connect with your inner child, to unlock any pain, wounds that they may still be carrying underneath the surface, that in doing so, that sets you free here and now. But that ultimately you just want to improve the relationship and the amount of attention that they get. That you want to have a better of exchange in energy. From being a neglectful parent to yourself to a super parent. Send yourself some love. Send that inner child some love. Thank your higher spirit for being here today. And as you're sitting on that bench, I just want you to reconnect with that warm sun radiating down on your face, hitting your head, warming up your eyes and your lips, your ears, your chin, your cheeks, your forehead, your hair, down to your neck and your shoulders, your chest, your arms, your hands, your abdominal, your hips, your legs, knees, shins, and your feet. Just feel that radiant warmth, that loving spirit in the sky that we call our sun. Just give thanks. And on the count of 5, we'll start to reconnect with our body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can open up your eyes. Thank you so much for participating. I hope that visualization helps you to begin a process of restoration, reconciliation with your inner child, to truly realize the value of that connection with yourself, to understand how beautiful that connection is, and how much your little child loves you. That little kid inside of you, they love you so much. Thank you, man. I am Aquaman. With that being said, I appreciate you all. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we'll see. I'll probably be on here again tomorrow. My goal is to keep getting on here. Hopefully, come next week, I'm going to put out a legit schedule and really schedule in these lives. I've been pushing myself. There's a lot going on with this workshop. So just know that I'm going to keep getting on here. I'm going to keep healing, and I'm going to keep speaking the truth and hopefully inspiring you to join me along this healing journey as we play this game called life. I love you guys so much. I send you love, joy, peace, and everlasting love. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it won't be worth it. Greg's out.